So first I'm going to go through some ways you can prevent the physical problems, lack of sleep, and vision loss. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about how you might deal with addiction and you might handle that. So first of all, to deal with the loss of sleep, the main way you can deal with this is just by changing your bedtime habits. The main thing you want to do is move your smartphone away from your bed on a desk, maybe across the room. Why? Because it will make it more difficult to check your phone. The minor inconvenience of getting out of your bed to go over and get it is actually enough to cause you to stay in your bed more. In addition, if you also use your phone as an alarm, this can also help you wake up by forcing yourself to get out of bed in order to turn off the alarm on your phone. In addition, there's another way you can help you sleep, and that is to turn on a blue light filter on your phone. Many phones, including Apple's phones, have a setting called night shift where you can turn on. You can't really see it, but you can actually see it clear now. And that's actually because it's filtering out the blue light, and on my screen it's looking at little oranges. If you look at it here, you can see it's looking oranges now, and that's because the blue light's been filtered out. For Android, there's actually an app called Twilight that you can download on the Google Play Store that has the same effect. Next, I'm going to talk about vision. So the main way you can help your vision is just to decrease the amount of screen time that you have. In the Journal of Environmental and Public Health, published in 2018, they found that computer workers that had experienced less than 4.6 hours of screen time a day had less vision, had experienced less problems with their eyes than other workers. In addition, they found that workers that had regularly adjusted their brightness and took regular breaks experienced nearly 42% less eye problems than similar workers. As such, doing these things, adjusting the brightness and taking regular breaks can also help you with your sleep. In addition, if you are experiencing dry eye from prolonged computer use, you can always take some dry eye medication, and that might help as well in dealing with the problem. So lastly, I'm going to talk about addiction and how you can deal with this. So the main thing you want to, for dealing with addiction, is you need to be aware that this is a thing, that it is possible to become addicted to your phone to the point where you can no longer live without it. People with phone addiction have found that they have experienced anxiety or stress when they don't have a phone on them. As such, in order to get used to it, it might be a good idea to take, if you feel like you're experiencing phone addiction, it might be a good idea to take breaks and do things like draw, write, go hiking, do something else away from your phone, and try and enjoy life that way. In addition, in iPhone and Androids, you can go into the settings and you can turn off your notifications. I'm currently in the settings menu for notifications, and you can go into any app and turn off its notifications. And here, if you have an Android, then there's a similar section in its settings menu where you can turn off the notifications for all of your apps. Okay? And finally, in addition, but that's not the only thing you have to watch for. In a 2016 post by Tristan Harris, who worked as Google's design ethicist for 3 years, he mentions how many phone apps nowadays have a variable reward system, and it acts like a slot machine, and where the notifications and news you receive is pretty much a gamble on whether or not you receive something that's interesting or not. And as such, one way you can get around this is to create a scheduled time for yourself to check all these apps, to check all these things, so that you aren't constantly going through them and constantly searching for that one app that's going to catch your interest. Finally, one other thing these apps tend to do is they tend to be very flashy. They tend to be very flashy, and they tend to be flashy, and that attention, that distraction that causes pushes us to check it out, to look into it, and that can lead us to another app. And one way you can deal with this that's recently been brought up is to turn on a grayscape filter on your phone. And this is something that you have to dive into your phone to find. It tends to be hidden. But if you go into general accessibility for an iPhone and to display accommodations, you can actually turn on a grayscape filter. Like this. Now my phone looks like this, right? And that makes it less appealing. It makes it visually less appealing. It makes us less interested to check in that next application. For Android, you really do have to dig in to find it, but you can find a filter just like this. And now that I've talked about some of the solutions, Brandon can talk about some of the results.
If these plans were to be adopted, we would all see improvements in our health when it comes to things like our sleep patterns, our vision, and so on. Our sleep patterns would definitely see some improvements, especially to those who have a tendency to use their phones before bed. By reducing time and using devices by reducing the time using our devices by methods like keeping it at arm's reach or controlling how much blue light is emitting from it, we can definitely see ourselves having much longer and much needed sleep. I know some of us are guilty of using our phones before bed. Another good outcome would definitely be from our vision staying strong. Lowering brightness or shortening screen time can be beneficial in the long run, and we won't be seeing anything like any eye strain or loss of your 20/20 vision anytime soon. I could relate to this because I've had moments of eye strain when overusing my phone and other devices. The benefits in the long run could be nothing short of positive. We would see improvements on ourselves and the people around us in various ways. One of the benefits we could be developing is something known as JOMO, the joys of missing out. It's when you begin to enjoy life to the fullest, but of course without the overuse of your devices, helping you enjoy said life. You begin to enjoy moments of aloneness and isolation and don't mind missing out on things like the next notification on your social medias or the next big event on the news. Even the stress and anxiety that comes with checking your devices due to unwanted commitments to those devices would soon be non-existent because you're too busy enjoying life without your devices. And JOMO isn't meant to keep you isolated from your devices just so you can be happy, but it allows you to be temporarily away from your devices to find yourself and remind yourself that your devices aren't the only form of entertainment. JOMO also isn't about giving up all your technologies altogether to be happy, but it's healthy to spend time away from them and to enjoy life as it is for a while. JOMO encourages people to understand what they truly want, why they want it, and how it makes them feel. It helps us free ourselves from unwanted commitments to our social medias and addictions to our technology, which gives us plenty of free time to explore ourselves and maybe do things that we were too busy to do, like daily exercises and other fun activities, or better yet, spontaneously come up with something fun to do now that you have the time and space for it. But if this plan was never adopted, then we would be seeing the exact same health problems that we've been facing with people's over-reliance on technology. With people's over-reliance on technology, people could develop something known as FOMO, the fear of missing out, which is the exact opposite of JOMO, the joy of missing out. This means that we have gained an anxiety of missing out on the latest news that our phones and other devices can notify us about, like the next big movie that's coming out, the next celebrity beef, or maybe the tragic death of a lovable person, despite those big news, but despite it being underwhelming and irrelevant to the person. Even the fear of missing out correlates with becoming a social outcast or someone who fears of missing out on what their family and peers are up to. According to an article made by Michelle Mansky and published by Whole Life Challenge in 2016, almost all forms of social media personify FOMO. We would become addicted to things like being in the know, getting to see who put a like or reblog on your post, or worse, end up feeling bad about ourselves when you see someone online more successful than you would ever be. It's just not healthy for us, both physically and mentally. What's more unfortunate is that people with FOMO are stuck in an endless cycle of both happiness and sadness when using social medias. According to another article made by Eric Barker on the Time website, it states that people with FOMO have mixed feelings when it comes to social medias like Facebook and Instagram. They either go in it to find happiness, which brings their spirits up, or have their spirits go crashing down. Which means they can find something good from social medias like of course Facebook and Instagram, like the next funny meme with a wholesome video. Of course, there are the things that worsen people's FOMO. Examples being seeing family and peers enjoying a nice and successful life, or see some celebrity or influencer flexing on how rich they are, which can be very discouraging to someone who has FOMO. Even the co-founder of Flickr, Katerina Fake, once stated that social softwares are both the cure and cause of FOMO. As we reach the conclusion, just remember, FOMO will lead to a cycle of joy and pain, while JOMO will help us find ourselves and see what makes us happy.
Slowly reducing your technology uses will benefit your health in the long run. High-level technology uses will affect your health, such as bad eyesight, sleep deprivation, anxiety, stress, and phone addiction. Since technology affects us in a negative way, you should regulate your time on your devices to make them safer. So we ask you to manage your time on your phone and other devices by changing your bedtime routine, reducing your screen time, and taking breaks in between. Using the night shift function for your iPhone or the Twilight app for Android will benefit your eyes when you use your phone at night. Also, be more aware of how long your devices hold your attention for, so you're on the lookout for phone addiction. As Albert Einstein once said, if you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or objects. So start changing your routine today in order to